Welcome back to the C Morning Show. Wow, we have 3 talk shows today.
Yes.
And our next one is actually one that should be of all interest to us all, especially if we are thinking about our future, as youths have a big role to play in our future, especially for a better ASEAN. And at this moment, there is a huge need for a movement that can represent and fight for youth in ASEAN to voice the concerns and the strategies that they have.
Exactly. Luckily, there's a platform of the youth in ASEAN called ASEAN Youth Forum, or AYF. And this forum represents and raises the voice of youth and claim for their rights for sustainable, inclusive, people-centered, and youth-driven regional community. We need more, of course. And this movement also aims to consolidate a policy proposal and agenda to put forward to the relevant ASEAN officers.
That's right. So today we're going to learn more about their work and the objectives of the ASEAN Youth Forum, along with some of the major topics that will be discussed in this movement with the ASEAN Youth Forum and Advocacy Manager, Astried Permata, alongside ASEAN Youth Forum Regional Program Manager, Rastra Yasland. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here.
Guys, to
Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Yeah. So,
all right. So it's very interesting because we had this G20 event.
Correct.
Last year, and then in the G20 there's a youth forum as well, and another youth community, like a movement like you guys are showing up again, and it's very hopeful to have more youth like contributing for the nation.
The voices are being heard
in the world, of course. And tell us a little bit more about the AYF.
Well, it's like its name, it's a forum. It's basically a space for everyone, like age 18 to 35, any youth. Like when we say youth, it's like any youth in all its diversity. So to voice out their concern, to voice out what are lacking in the government or political sphere, and like our name is ASEAN, we focus on the Southeast Asia region,
right.
But not also including Timor-Leste. So because in ASEAN member state, Timor-Leste is not
included
yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But we also pay attention with the youth in Timor-Leste also. So 11 countries.
Wow, interesting.
So we mentioned earlier that ASEAN Youth Forum is a movement. It represents the fight for the youth in ASEAN to voice out concerns so we have a better improvement around our region for a better future. What kind of programs, like what steps are in place to make that happen? What sort of programs do you have?
Well, we have a lot of programs. You would like to say something on the advocacy side of it?
So actually, basically, in our internal, there are several main works, core works. In AYF, the first one is about Rastra Division, about outreach and development program that responsible to facilitate youth in the region, to enhance their capacity, to facilitate the space for them to give their aspiration among the youth in the region.
Okay.
The second one is my division. It's about advocacy division that works to bridge between youth and ASEAN bodies.
Okay.
And all the stakeholders.
Yeah,
Oh,
stakeholders.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
since the space for youth to directly communicate with stakeholder is very
Limited.
Yeah, so
very
we put so much effort on that. And the third one, last but not least, is communication division. In that division, we amplify youth in the region, the voice of them. So yeah, it could be heard. But actually, I think the most important thing is we try to apply human rights principle and meaningful youth participation. So we ensure every work engage youth meaningfully.
Yes.
So yeah, you mentioned your division is advocacy. What sort of advocacy would be included for youth in this?
Yeah. For instance, in this year we plan to conduct we conduct research on Myanmar.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It's very
The military.
2 years.
Yeah,
What happened in
long
the
time.
country.
yeah,
Right.
and we try to bring the voice of youth in Myanmar to the stakeholder. So we plan to have a launching research and engage stakeholder to hear the voice of youth in Myanmar.
wow,
The second one is about ASEAN Youth Summit. We
Yeah.
expect to have this event in November after the summit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we gather youth in the region to like, reviewing what happened in ASEAN summit, what kind of discussion that held by the
okay.
government. Then we, the youth, have a safe space to review and give statement and recommendation to the stakeholders.
That's
Oh,
great
that's
because we know
amazing.
we reported on the Myanmar situation all over the last
From the
couple
very
of years from the
beginning.
very beginning.
Yeah.
And I remember there's always whenever there's protests, it's a lot of youths that are coming out
There's
to
a
like speak
lot
their
of
voices and
youth.
coming out, and that takes a lot of bravery, especially over there.
Yeah, they got banned, do you remember,
Yeah.
on social media
That's
as
why they do
well?
need a forum to have their voices heard,
Exactly.
right?
So, when the AYF started?
Okay, it started as movement 2009.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
no funding. We just like in every year, every time there is an ASEAN summit, and we also have ASEAN People's Forum.
Okay.
So youth are gathered together annually, and we discuss a lot of issues.
Okay.
Various issues until I guess 2019, we decided that okay, this movement needs to be institutionalized. That we need an organization, that we need to mobilize more better, so that we
Yes.
can do advocacy work better with ASEAN and more
Amazing.
So
stakeholders.
before 2019, it wasn't official that you would have actually a voice to address a lot of these concerns yet.
Yeah, it's just like movement, like
Like a
very
space,
fluid.
like
Yeah,
you
it's just
said,
like
it's a space.
what we have with Milk Tea Alliance.
Yeah.
Right,
So
okay.
it's not registered legally.
Wow.
But so 2019, we decided, okay, I guess it's time for us to institutionalize this. Hence, we have a secretariat based in Jakarta.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Who initiated this to be, registered?
Well,
Which region? Indonesia?
all
All of
the
the
youth,
youth
yeah.
from
I
Southeast
mean,
Asia.
we decided, I guess it's important to have a secretariat. I guess it's also with administrative, and with ASEAN also, it's very tricky if you are not, registered legally, you cannot really have a dialogue with
yeah.
ASEAN. So I guess it's more strategic for us to be institutionalized.
How many members since you guys started to register?
We don't have membership because it's also it's a, like Astrid said, it's a safe and brave space for everyone.
Sometimes you don't
And we
have to
don't want to
identify
include, we don't want to exclude, people member and non-member.
Non-member.
We would like to welcome everyone,
Yeah.
like those who are not privileged enough to access this kind of, activity. When you talk about ASEAN, usually, well, there are youths, but mostly youths who are privileged enough that can
Yeah.
speak English,
Yeah.
that have a confidence. They don't have a lot of drama in their life.
Exactly.
But
And to get connected with this stakeholder that you mentioned is very
Exactly.
limited, right?
Yes.
So ASEAN Youth Forum holds an annual and regular solidarity meeting, or some activity like getting together and everything. So for the next event or the next plan of what you have, what will be?
Yeah, it's gonna be the ASEAN Youth Summit. Actually, we'll organize that in conjugation or after the ASEAN Summit. Yeah,
right?
that's maybe you would like to tell more about it.
Like we all know that Indonesia and chairperson bring the theme of like
Epicentrum.
ASEAN as
Yes.
epicentrum of growth.
Yeah.
So basically, we would like also to gather youth. We would like to know about their insight, their aspiration about what is growth,
Yeah.
what is youth, what kind of welfare that they need, what kind of welfare that they imagine. So in this event, ASEAN Youth Summit, like I mentioned before, we gather youth in the region, including from Timor-Leste, to gain their insight about what happened in ASEAN Summit and what, like I mentioned, what kind of welfare that they imagine. We would like to bring alternative discussions about what is growth. So we
And the benefit from the ASEAN
Yes,
Summit is really
yes.
important, especially for the youth generation.
Well, it's important for everyone.
Of course, especially for
For the
young
region,
generation, because
exactly.
we are going to be the future generation,
Yeah,
right?
and
So, so basically, you guys are going a discussion and have a different topic, and each topic is really, really powerful messages
Yes.
to spread, to share with the leaders.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the more region-centric? You mentioned Myanmar as one of the biggest concerns, obviously. What are some of the other region-centric issues that have come up the most?
Okay, how do we start the list? Well, we have a freedom of
lot
Must be a long-
of things.
must be a long list.
freedom
Especially
of
for the past 3 years,
expression.
right?
You know, freedom of expression. Not to
Okay.
mention Indonesia, you know, with
Oh,
the
that's a
situation,
good point.
with some laws that is, you know, you cannot really be free to express yourself without
Correct.
fear of reprisal. We see the same pattern with Thailand and then with the Philippines. That's from freedom of expression and digital security and digital rights and
Gender
goes to gender injustice and justice and climate. Also, of course, the sustainable environments, how our regions basically also under threat of the climate change. We have a lot of issues actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, the first one is actually the one that kind of caught me by surprise because we should know this, but we're so used to it sometimes. By the, you know, we already feel like we progressed so much over the years, but we still have a long ways to go.
A lot
glad
of
to see.
things.
Yeah.
Inside and inside.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that awareness that we
Like
still
with it.
need to grow,
Exactly.
keep progressing. I guess that awareness is really important.
Yeah. And I think that's you make that a very good point when you don't have like a fixed member. So basically, it's inclusive for everyone, especially for from youth generation. So because youth have a very explosive thoughts. We are still productive. We have lots of concerts,
Exactly.
but sometimes we don't have a space. Or we don't. Rarely we never get a chance.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know that the ASEAN Summit is in 1 month's time,
Exactly.
approximately 1 month's time.
The first summit.
Right. So take us through it. What are your steps now leading into the summit?
Yeah, actually we try to, actually there is no years by years, yeah. There is no info like official invitation for the youth in ASEAN Summit, but like Rastra already mentioned, we try to keep updated and engage youth, although we have to conduct separate event.
Okay.
But yeah, the thing is we try to keep them informed. But actually we also have like challenges in terms of languages, which is already Rasa already mentioned. Because you know ASEAN is very diverse. They have national language.
Every country has its own language.
Yeah, and also have there's some part there are some part area where youth only can speak local language.
Oh, like a
even
dialect.
not in Myanmar for example, like
A lot of ethnic minorities there.
yeah, and it's the kind of challenges it's hamper them to engage more in this event. So yeah, I think we need to tackle this kind
There's
of.
a lot of work to be done, but we're definitely glad to see youths like yourself taking the reins and doing something about it.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Southeast Asia. Oh my God.
Good
Such a
stuff.
big region, guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we just realized 11
And
countries.
like our president said, it's the epicentrum of growth, and we took the role, very important one for the world, probably for the next future.
Yes.
Right. How do we find out more if any of our viewers are interested in the ASEAN?
Well, go to ASEANYouthForum.org.
Okay.
I guess we have all the social media handles there, so feel free to go there, and we keep updating our programs there in our website and our social media.
Okay,
Good
thank
luck
you
to
so much,
you.
guys.
Big year for you guys.
Well,
thank
thank
you
you
for
for
Best of
having
luck, best of luck. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't
amazing.
know how you say it in the other 10 languages, but in Indonesia we say semangat.
Semangat, semangat kakak.
All right, we're going to take another short break here. But in the meantime, speaking of socials, don't forget to follow ours as well. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at See Today News.
Carol and I will return shortly with the special segment of this holy month. Salam Ramadan, please stay tuned.
Semangat, kakak.
Semangat.